Find out what's the general state of our country. What's the current situation? What must we do? Find out on The State of Affairs with Trevor Lindsay.
State of Affairs, our news program. We have the likes of Sir John Swan, Bermuda's longest serving premier. I got to give him his respect and his dues. Sir John, welcome.
Well, Trevor, it's nice to be here. Believe me, it's always nice to be around you because you always can be very provocative and very informative. And more importantly is you ask some deep questions sometimes, which are necessary. So I look forward this morning to being able to try to answer those questions. I think it's essential that the public be as informed as possible.
Yes, sir. Let's jump right in. We're going to start off with the CARICOM topic.
Yes.
And then you had that press conference done at your location on Front Street. The feedback from the ruling government, and I'm going to call his name, Minister Raban,
Yes.
was a little disheartening. Your thoughts on their response, his response?
It's not for me to decide what Raban does or doesn't do. And, freedom of speech is one thing that I have a great respect for. But respect is something I have a greater respect for. He made that choice, and I think the public answered the issue, not me. I have not commented on it, and I won't comment on it.
Yeah.
I think the public should. I think he got the message, and I think the government got the message. They do not want CARICOM in the form that it's proposed, in any form at all. And Bermudians have a reason for it, and one day I will have the opportunity to articulate why we need to step forward, not backwards.
So CARICOM, in your words, it's not a good venture to go into right now.
Well, what does it offer? The government promised to come forward with ideas that's going to why we should join CARICOM. Well, we haven't heard those ideas yet. Why shouldn't we join CARICOM is why I put up, and it's because even when I was negotiating for the treaty, the idea of discussion about CARICOM was there then. And the American government said to us, look, you have a very special relationship with us.
Mm-hmm.
You should concentrate on benefits you can get that might be outside of CARICOM's terms of reference in terms of the CARICOM itself. You're not trading partners because what are you going to trade? You don't have any resources, so what are you going to do? On policy matters, you made a major step in getting this insurance treaty to boost your economy and so forth. And you have negotiating with the British government if there are concessions that you need. Just like you work to get the concession through the British, we had to get permission from the British to get the concession to negotiate for the treaty. You can seek other negotiations. That's a step forward. So I think that being an associate member allows Bermudians to participate in activities that the Caribbean or CARICOM has. But I don't see any material benefits and I think the way the world is going now, it even makes it more challenging because, at the end of the day, Russia will be Russia and it will be back in Atlantic as it was in the Cold War. China might be because it's already down the Caribbean doing things down there. And we have to decide how we're going to move forward in protecting Bermuda and being able to get trade. We'll run out of money. Let's be honest about it.
Mm-hmm.
We need money. And I think we have to move forward as to what we can negotiate as we did with the treaty in terms of conditions that might bring revenue in. I mean, the 15% tax limited to $750 million worth of business is going to be a small amount. It's not going to be what people think is going to be this massive. If it's $200 million, well, look at the debt and what we have to service in terms of paying for the interest on money.
Mm-hmm.
Then look at the infrastructure that we need.
Mm-hmm.
That $200 million will be eaten up just like that, and we still won't be doing some of the infrastructural work that we need.
That's needed. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. But it was suggested that your out of touch. How do you take that?
Well, look, everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Okay.
I'm a private citizen. I try to do my best for Bermuda, as I've always said before. I love Bermuda. I love its people, and I will do my best. Bermuda's been good to me, and I have a sense of obligation to give back the best I can. It's not for any particular gain, but what it is to try to carve up a future that's going to make Bermuda work.
Mhm.
And at the moment, working for some, but it's more and more not working for many others. And I get worried because you see the exit out of Bermuda. You look at the polls, if the polls are true, there is a sense that Bermudans don't feel like they're really attached. I grew up, we all loved Bermuda, we were attached to it, we felt the heartbeat of Bermuda. So I'm that generation that really lived with the heartbeat of Bermuda.
Mm-hmm.
What we're doing is we're losing the heartbeat of Bermuda by the people that were here working to build Bermuda to what it is today. And now I understand that 80% of people buying property are people with PRCs, not Bermudians.
Wow.
If Bermudian goes to the bank to get loans, and I have them come to see me, they get the PRC people buying them for cash. So, we need to reestablish Bermuda again as a prima facie operation that serves everybody. And the insurance business is never going to do it. We can't tax them anymore. They've said, you got a 35-year deal on that. We increased the payroll tax, and they got very angry about that. They know that the 15% tax is something that's imposed on us. And if we don't do it, we could lose business. So I understand why it's being done. But it's not going to be the answer, panacea that people think it is. We've switched to the next big word out there is fintech. I see a lot of noise and motions, but I don't see the reach and the grab that's necessary. We're deep in debt, underfunded pension, hospital really in debt and not operating properly. You have the police service short of manpower because of budget cuts. You have our roads collapsing, our bridges collapsing. We need to do all these things if we're going to keep up with ourselves. With America, America's having a boom. We should be having a boom too, but we still are in a bust. In 2010, our economy dropped down to $6 billion worth of trade. We're now up to $6 billion worth of debt.
Wow.
When you take the hospital, the airport, the government stated debt of $3.5 billion, and the underfunded pension funds, we're pushing $5.5–6 billion. You got to pay interest and service all that, and then you got to refund the pension fund that people who are entitled to get money. We can't do that just by nitpicking. So a whole new approach needs to be. We did the approach back in 1981, 82, 83. When we were on our back, we had no tourist trade, and then all of a sudden we managed to get the treaty through, and the economy grew and so forth. And I've always believed you have to be physically responsible. In other words, you have to watch your pennies, watch your budget. I do it with my business. Watch what you have to spend, and don't spend beyond what you can spend. At the same time, you got to have a social conscience. I give away money, but I do it very quietly. I try to help people, and some of the people I've helped.
Yes, sir.
That allows them to sort of survive if I can. It's gotten overburdensome now because I feel sympathetic for people, and I try to do my best, but there's only so much one individual can do. And they come to me because they don't know anybody downtown. I mean, you've got a lot of wealth in Bermuda, but nobody knows them. So nobody goes to them for help.
Wow.
So they come to me, and I direct them sometimes to other people. So we've got an upside-down economy. The people with the money, nobody knows. And the people without money,
everybody knows.
Everybody knows because they're crying like hell and making a lot of noise.
Yes, sir.
And I don't blame them for making noise because that's, they don't fit into New Bermuda. I want a Bermuda that everybody fits into, and that we can help to look after people.
Next year, it would be 40 years since your administration, since you stepped on.
Yeah.
1995, 40 years. When you stepped on, you left Bermuda in surplus. And I know 40 years ago, it's many moons ago, the state that we see ourselves now, as you just stated, the economy, infrastructure. Infrastructure speaks volumes on the state of an economy. How do we fix this, Sir John?
Well, we used to brag about the Caribbean and the roads.
That's right.
down
That's
the
right.
Caribbean.
Jamaica roads. We used to talk about Jamaica roads.
Oh no, Jamaica
Now-
roads, many other roads.
I'm seeing the Jamaican roads and potholes.
And now
what worse?
our roads are pretty bad shape. I mean, roads are a statement to the locals and international people. Roads are a statement to anywhere you go. If the roads are bad, roads are tarmac and some stone, heated asphalt with some stone, and it's laid and some labor. It's not a magic, and we say that our plants are broken down. Well, the plants couldn't have been broken down for the last 3 or 4 years, and the roads have been in bad shape for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
We see other contracts going on. We're building a hotel in Owen. I'd rather put the money in the roads than put the money into the hotel that's being built on South Shore with it. Because at the end of the day, if our roads are good and people come to Bermuda and want to come to Bermuda, build other properties, whether it's Aerial Sands or whether it's Alba Beach or whether it's Southampton, Princess Hotel up there in Southampton, or other places in St. George's where you got trying to go down to St. Regis and you got to go through a lot of bumpy roads to get there. Think about it. We should have put the money in the roads and made sure our roads are number one. And the safety factors. I mean, you got potholes now that if people ride in these little small cars with small wheels, get in a pothole, they could flip.
Yeah.
Or somebody riding a bicycle, not paying attention, and they hit that.
Nighttimes, our roads are dangerous. Nighttimes, especially.
What's that?
Nighttimes, our roads are dangerous. Our roads are dangerous day and night, but night's even worse, especially on a bike.
You don't see them.
That's right, on a
You
bike.
don't see the potholes until you. In fact, when you see it's too late, right? So we need to do something about that. I mean, and we can't use excuses like our tarmac. Two tarmac plants
are
not working. I mean, what? Fix the damn thing. Bring somebody in to fix them. Or bring in a damn new plant. We're talking about a lifeline and people's lives at risk. And people, you hear all these accidents. I'm not sure what they're related to these or not. But the fact is, people are getting very scary of our roads. So we need to bring Bermuda up to speed. And I'm afraid the balanced budget is a cutback on cost in order to make the public feel as though you're doing something. That's sad, really sad. I mean, don't lie to me when it's not that. I fire people for lying to me.
Well,
one thing I do is I fire them. If you work for me, if I can't trust you, you're gone. And the government has to be in a trust position where it is, I'm here to serve you. I'm here to facilitate you. I'm not here to do a job. I'm not here to build a hotel in Warwick. If the private sector wants to buy it and build it and put the money into it, we might help you to do it, but we're not going to be doing it, So it's this thing that bothers me because we take one step forward and 2 steps backwards. I had an uncle. He was an alcoholic. You know what he'd do? He'd get so damn drunk to get home, he'd put his back to where he wanted to get to because he always took 1 step forward and 2 steps backwards. And I said to him one day, I said, "Uncle, why you do that?" He says, "Because I don't fold on that way. I stumble, but I don't fold on.
Okay.
It just takes me a hell of a lot longer to get to where I want to get to, son." And I can tell you, that's what we're doing right now. We articulate as though we're making 1 step forward, but we're really taking 2 steps backwards. All you have to look at the state of affairs of the economy. You got a $6 billion, 6.2, 6.3 billion. That was the same economy we had 20 years ago. It's the same economy we had 2010. What is that? 12 years ago.
I'm going to go out on a limb, Sir John.
Huh?
I'm going to go out on a limb with this next statement. Your administration had businessmen, doctors, lawyers, business owners. In the administration we have today, they're nowhere in comparison.
I don't blame
Is that because of a lack of understanding or experience or even business sense?
No, it is how our economy has evolved. I don't blame the POP on this one. I blame the business community who decided they want to make money so badly and never want to offend the government because they might not get their work permits. Fear that they've told their staff, you don't get involved with politics.
Wow.
What they were saying is you don't get involved with politics because the OBA and the UBP's members came from a business community, and so did some of the PLP, like Cox, Eugene Cox.
That's right.
Gilbert Darrell, and many of them came from the business world. So what you have now is the business community, by and large, out of fear, not encouraging their people to get involved. So I can't blame the PLP. They have to get what the members they can find.
Okay.
I mean, Curtis Dickinson was a good example of a person coming out of business.
Yes.
Which everybody respects. But he didn't fit into the mold of PLP. And they were afraid of him. And I guess in some ways he was afraid of them. There was no love. And there's only two powers. There's fear and there's love.
Mm-hmm.
And love gives you energy. And I question whether there's real love. I think we'll begin to lose our love. I see a sign that says love. Fear destroys love, destroys energy. And what you have in Bermuda now is, when you listen to the talk shows, you listen to people, you walk the streets, there's this fear, this constant fear of what's going on, how I can survive in Bermuda. And what more importantly, it doesn't seem like anybody's listening. And instead of, what we have to do now is to go back and say, how do we get ourselves out of this mess we're in? Economic mess, which leads to a social mess, which leads to a political further polarization, which leads ultimately to a disaster. And we could have, if we got downgraded, let's say that, we show that we can't really pull our finances together, and we get downgraded, these international companies here have to be in a country that the grade level is at least equal, if not higher than what their level is. Mm-hmm. We could lose overnight a big piece of our business. And United States, as powerful as it is, it was downgraded just recently. Or we could find out our Bermuda dollar gets downgraded, and since Bermudians basically are paid in the Bermuda dollars, instead of paying a dollar for something, they're paying $1.10, $1.20 for something. Happened to Jamaica, it happened to other parts of the world. Or you lower your standards, and the problem is with high cost of living in Bermuda and everything, you can't lower your standards unless you have some draconian application, like lowering the value of your currency. Because, these prices are just rising and rising. There are a lot of people making a lot of money, by the way. I think to be honest about it, what I worry about is government doesn't understand is that there are people in the domestic economy making a lot of money and they're sending it overseas. They've lost faith in their own country because they don't have a relationship. Fear of government is pumping money out of the country.
Hold that thought.
The show will resume after these messages. Don't go anywhere.